my brothers and sisters. This is Let It Shine Sunday on Hot Mix VA Radio, which is at the TIA, a Living Harvest Assemblies. In and on today, it is a message for you. It is so in the mighty name of the Messiah we speak, and it is so, and so it be. Once again, it is a mighty word for everyone today that is listening, that can hear with an ear and an open heart. And a lot of times, things in life go on. And what the Almighty Yahuwah, the Elohim, wants me to let everyone know, that you are preserved for a purpose. But there's three key principles that we as a people, we as a body of the Messiah have to know. We have to take heed. We have to trust in something to become something and to be a part of it. So when we look at the word preserved, it means it means to keep from injury, to keep from harm, or to protect, or to defend. It also means to keep alive in an existence, making last. And then the synonym of it means to sustain, to continue, to keep up, or to keep possession. So whatever we or you, the individual or the individuals, whatever you put your trust in, that becomes what you are preserved, or what you perceive to allow to be in your particular life. This message is so important. I know on this day it's supposed to be about exhortation, impartation, and inspiration, but everyone in life needs someone to be entrusted to. You can live in this life on your own, but you won't be able to make it or to have an everlasting life because of who or what you become a trust of. So let's look at some particular instructions right here. Another part of preserve, the word preserve, it means producing a strong impression or response. It means adequate to accomplish a purpose. So in this preserving, the Father, some people say glory, but the Father of Kabod has preserved those who trust in him or who look to him. I want you to be encouraged today that regardless of what circumstances or what situation you face, is always a way in life to change the situation. So if you put your trust in the Almighty, what happens is some things that he has breathed in you, perfected in you, and granted unto you, but it takes us to trust in him, to be thankful unto him, and take heed to his words. And when we do these things, it's a ratification of some good things that takes place. Let's look at the text of Telehim, which means Psalm 12, text 6. Psalm 12, text 6. And we know that David went through a lot. So in this particular text, this is what it records. The words of Yahuwah are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. I come today to let you know, yes, you're going to be tried. But in that trying is an endurance of your faith, which means your emanu. In that trying of different things in the world is where you draw closer to him, where he can draw close to you, and you can know him and he can know you. So David knew these things, and in life, as you are going through things or enduring some things, faith, joy, and all these things become increased because of who or what you trust in. So in this particular text in verse 6, it records the words of Yahuwah are pure words, as tried in the furnace of earth, purified 7 times. And the number 7 represents perfection. So in this, he wants us to know, as we are tried in things, we put our trust in him. And then as we look at Telehim, which means Psalm 15, text 1, it records Yahuwah Some people say the Lord, but the correct name is Yahuwah, who shall abide in thy tabernacle, who shall dwell in thy what? Holy hill, which means the place of righteousness within him. And it records text 2. He or she that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his or her heart. So when our heart trusts in the Almighty, in that trust, what he has preserved for us, what he has predestined for each man, each woman. Look what records in 16 of Psalm 16. David knew this. So David gave an indication. He said, preserve me, O Elohim, for in thee do I put my trust. Text 2 of Psalm 16. O my soul, thou hast said unto Yahuwah, thou art my Yahuwah, thy Elohim, my goodness extendeth not to thee. What it is saying, David had to trust. David started realizing what the Father had preserved for him. I want each man, each woman to have a mind, a heart, and a soul. I don't care if you're seasoned in the things of the Almighty or if you're a babe in the things of the Almighty. Each day is a process of allowing, accepting, and abiding. When you trust in the Almighty, is some things that take place. Look what David started realizing in Psalm 16 text 5 as another indication. It records, Yahuwah is the portion of my inheritance. See, whenever you put your trust in the Almighty Yahuwah, the Elohim, he preserved our soul. And in this particular text right here in Psalm 16 text 5, is given an indication where David is given and let it be made known that Yahuwah is the portion of his inheritance. That inheritance is something that he has for all because he preserved our soul when we put our trust in him. And when we put our trust in the Almighty Yahuwah, the Elohim, he becomes what? The cup of our lot. So that cup, I hear you, Father, the cup that he holds, not the cup of the harlot, of which holds the cup of abominations, but the cup that Yahuwah, the Elohim, holds is of goodness. For questions, concerns, or remarks, please call in at 804-856-1988 on Hot Mix VA Radio, Let It Shine Sunday. So we're still speaking about preserving, and he preserves like he preserved David for a purpose. I want each and every individual to know that he has preserved you. He has created you for a purpose. Do not allow the trials and the snares of the things of the world to despair you or cause you to be misled or to become depressed. But in you and of him, as you trust in him, it is life and it's the spirit of excellency. Now, when we look in Telehim, which means Psalm 17, text 5, it records, now let's go to verse 4. It records, concerning the works of men, by the word of thy lips, because his lips is what? Sure. His lips is what? Truth. I have kept me from the path of the destroyer. So he preserved our soul. He maintaineth our lot when we put our heart, mind, and soul unto him and trust in him. We become the seeds, the sons and daughters of righteousness. He maintaineth our lot. He maintaineth our cup. He adds daily and he increases his spirit, which means his Ruach HaKadosh, where we could be the kings and queens on the earth, a royal priesthood he has called us to shine out of the darkness of this world, but to be the light of him, the manifestation of him, and to walk. Now, when we look in this particular text, I hear you, Father. In Psalms 17, text 5, it records, hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. I have called upon thee, for thy will hear me, O Elohim. Incline thy ear unto me, and hear my speech. David was proclaiming because he stopped trusting fully in the Almighty. And as he started trusting fully in the Almighty, the Father started hearing him. And when you start putting your trust fully in the Father, he protect your paths. He will speak into your ear. He will incline your ear. He will show you the ways to go of the light as the light in and of the earth. Now, when we look in text 15 of Telahim, which means Psalm, when we look at Psalm 17, text 15, this what gives an indication. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. See, my brothers and sisters, whoever and whatever you put your trust in, and whatever you surrender your soul unto, you become what the likeness. Oh, I hear you, Father. You become the image. And that image is the likeness of light, the life that he has preserved in thy soul, and he maintaineth our lot. Our lot is when we walk uprooted in him, not in the things of the world. I come today to challenge you to put your trust in the Father of truth. Put your trust, your whole heart, mind, and soul unto him. And when you do that, and as you do that, he will hear you. And as he hear you, then he will speak to you. Now, let's look at some different things. See, not only do he preserve our soul for a purpose of power, but there is some things that he bestowed upon and within us as we trust in him. And as we lean not to our own understanding, but his Ruach HaKadosh, some people say the Holy Spirit, but the correct is the Ruach HaKadosh, will come in. It will comfort. It will have you have a spirit of conquering, a spirit of correction, a spirit of calling things forth because of what? His spirit, his Ruach HaKadosh that's within you. I want to encourage you. You preserve for a purpose. You're not preserved for problems, even though problems come. But through the Father, he maintaineth our lot. He gives and reward us different revelations of the righteousness of him. Let's go quickly. I hear you, Father. Let's go quickly to 1 Chronicles chapter 29, text 25. 1 Chronicles chapter 29, text 25. 29, text 25. Now, see, it's a preserve, where he preserved our soul, then there's some things that he bestows when we put our trust, when we give our life, when we surrender or we commit our heart, mind, and soul, or our thoughts. He causes us to what? Be magnified in him as he magnified himself within us. Now, let's look at this particular text. And this particular text is giving an indication of Solomon, when Solomon was obedient and when Solomon had took heed of these different things. 1 Chronicles chapter 29, text 25, and it records this is an indication of something called or considered bestowed. Okay? And bestowed means to give something as an honor or present useful or a gift to apply. So, it's something, when we honor him, the Almighty, he honors us back because we have presented ourselves unto him. And then what he has predestined and preserved in our soul is some things that he bestows, like he bestowed upon Solomon. Let's look at this particular text. 1 Chronicles 29, text 25. And it records, in Yahuwah, some people say the Lord, but the correct name is Yahuwah. And Yahuwah magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all of Israel, and bestowed upon him such royal majesty as had not been on any king before him in Israel. What are you saying? What I'm saying, in your season, in your life, in your walk, in your choice, in your decisions that you make, and you work out your own soul salvation with the Almighty, he will cause you to what? Walk exceedingly in his majesty, in a spirit of excellency, a spirit of triumph. But the key thing is, you have to know that you're preserved for a purpose. And that purpose is power on the path of righteousness, which he has predestined for you. Now, another text that he wants us to look at quickly is in 2 Chronicles chapter 1. Let's see where we're going to go. 2 Chronicles chapter 1, text 7 through 10, quickly, and then we're going to go to 12, okay? And it records, in that night did Yahuwah the Elohim appear unto Solomon, and said unto him, ask what I shall give thee. See, when we put our trust in him, it's some things that he preserve our soul. He maintaineth our lot. But he bestows some things like he did with Solomon and like he done with Job. Now, let's look at this. Text 8 records, and Solomon said unto Yahuwah the Elohim, thou hast showed great mercy unto David my father, and has made me to reign in his stead. Now, O Yahuwah the Elohim, let thy promise unto David my father be established, for thou hast made me king over people like the dust of the earth in multitude. Text 10, give me now wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this thy people that is so great? What this is saying, Solomon had a task, like David has a task, to let people know about the Almighty, about trusting his wisdom, his knowledge, his understanding of life of abundance, life of authority, life of shalom, life of steadiness and stability, not only in the spirit, but also in the natural of having things to sustain while on the earth. Now, another thing that he wants us to look at, when he has preserved our soul, the key principle and the fact of that is because you come to him at any moment, at any time in our life. We have to come and make a decision. Do we want to better ourselves? Do we want to change? Do we want to be in the same place of being despair, being fearful, not knowing who we are or who he is or what he has purposed, what he has predestined, so you can receive some promises, so you can receive a reward? My brothers and sisters, when you give your life fully to him, he comes in. And he comes in with authority and gives you the ability. Let's go quickly to Psalm 21. Let's go there quickly. Psalm 21, text 2 through 7. For questions, comments, or remarks, please call in 804-856-1988. Now, in Telehim, which means Psalm 21, text 2 through 7. Look at this particular text. Thou hast given him what? His heart's desire. Why did he give David his heart's desire? Because David trusted in him. You have to trust in someone other than the finances, other than the materialistic things. When you trust in the higher being of the Almighty, he allows some different things that he has stored up for you to come to be made about. In this particular text, that has given him his heart's desire and has not withholden the request of his lips. So when we put our trust in him, it's some things that he gives that he won't withhold. Because when we put our trust, he becomes the one that preserving our soul. And our soul become for the purpose of him who have called us out of darkness unto his light. Text 3 records, for thou presentest him with the what? The blessings, which means the barak of goodness. Thou settest a crown of pure gold on his or her head. So you become settled as a royal priesthood, a royal king or queen, of an ambassador for and of him. Now, text 4 of Psalm 21. He asks life of thee, and thou gavest it him, even length of the days forever and forever. What are you saying? Go to the Father. Call unto him. Ask of him, what is my purpose? I want to know of thee. I welcome you in my heart. When you do that, my brothers and sisters, it's so much that he has preserved for your soul of his spirit that filleth within you the finest of wheat. Now, text 5 records his glory, which means his kabod, is great in thy salvation. Honor and majesty has thou laid upon him. He lays it upon you if you put your trust. So he has preserved those that trust in him for power in the spirit of excellency. He keeps our feet from slipping. He keeps our mind in perfect shalom. We become steadfast. We become settled in him. Text 7 records, for the king trusteth in Yahuwah, and through the mercy of the Most High, he or she shall not be moved. See, it's through him. You won't be moved. You won't be bothered with the things of the world. And as in my closing of this particular part, before we get into the credit part, and as we go into Colossians quickly and swiftly, Colossians 3, text 15. Colossians 3, text 15. And this is what it records. And let the shalom of Yahuwah the Elohim rule in your hearts. So when he rule in your heart, everything that he has preserved for you, I hear you, Father. Everything that he has predestined for you, everything that he has in store for you as a promise, it shall be released. But it's up to the individual of what they put their trust in or who they give their trust to. And it records, and let the shalom, some people say peace, of Yahuwah the Elohim rule in your hearts, to which also ye are called in one body, and be ye thankful. In that statement, when you put your trust in the Almighty Yahuwah the Elohim, you can be thankful. My brothers and sisters, that's why in the book of Hebrews 13, text 15, it lets it be made known through him. Let us continue to offer the sacrifice of praise to Yahuwah. That is the fruit of our lips and the acknowledgement of him. And this proceeds within the text of Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in Yahuwah with the whole heart. Lean not to thy own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will what? Direct thy paths. What that is saying is some things that he has preserved of power, of peace, protection, where you can prevail, you can gain ascendancy in the spirit of some things. As the self of the flesh dies daily. He wants us to know this. So I want you to be encouraged that you are preserved for a purpose of power. A lot of people get caught up in the positions of this thing, but you are preserved for power. You are preserved for peace, which means shalom. You are preserved to be what? Perfect in him, as the seed of him. One more text and then we're going to get into the credit thing. He wants me to get this out quickly. Let me look at some of my notes. Real quickly. Shatta, I hear you, Father. I hear you. So it's a secret place. All right? Just everyone knows this particular text. Telahim 91 text 1. It records, he or she that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under this shadow. This shadow means what? The protection or the provision of the Almighty. There's some things that he has preserved in you. So you abide in that. You be protected. You be able to prevail. You be able to endure. You be able to where your feet won't slip. You be able to have perfect shalom in this world that we walk in. And we speak of his truth. And we speak of the life. That's why it's so key important that I love this particular text. As it records right here. In Colossians 3, text 10 in my closing before we get into the credit stuff. And have put on what? The new man, the new woman, which is renewed in what? Knowledge after the image of him that have created him. He created you for who? For himself. He created you to be what? His peculiar treasure. He created you where you proclaim his name. He created you where you could proclaim his truth. He created you where you can what? Speak life abundantly. Live life abundantly because you rest in him. You are assured in him. And you are fully persuaded that nothing of this life will separate you from him. My brothers and sisters, be encouraged because he has preserved a purpose for you where he maintaineth your lot and he addeth to your cup daily. But the key principle and another fact of this is if you're not trusting in him and if you're not of him, that means the other individual is holding that cup. And that is a cup of abomination, which speaks about the great harlot, or the great harlot of Babylon, or the great whore, which is indicated in Revelation. For all of the transgressors, all of those that rebel. So who cup would you rather be in? Where the Father maintaineth your lot. He maintaineth your life. Whatever you are facing, whatever challenge comes your way. Like the prophet, the messenger, Jeremiah 33:3 records, call unto me and I will answer thee. I will show who? Thee things which thou knowest not. So if you feel uncomfortable not going to someone's assembly or someone's church or coming to someone, call unto the Father. Not just with your mouth, but with your heart. And he's going to answer some things and show you some things what he have in store for you. I'm just a messenger to encourage you, to influence you, where you can seek him and know what he has purpose for you if you choose him, if you trust him, and you live for him and his commands and commandments and have a covenant with him, and he will shine his face upon you. It is so, and so it be. In the mighty name of the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach. Any question, comments, or remarks, call in at 804-856-1988 on this Let It Shine Sunday on Hot Mix VA Radio. And before we get into the credit stuff, I just want to encourage there's some different events that's coming up in the town of Tappahannock that I would like, it's not sponsored by me, but it's sponsored by Prophetess Nehemi Hickman on August the 2nd at 10 a.m. at Essex High School. They will be having a prayer for the students. Now, some people like to pray, but I petition or I call forth. So y'all come out for that as she will be gathering that. And no, I'm not sponsored by her or anything like that, but this is to help the body of the Messiah where people come collectively together to call forth things that the children be protected against the adversaries of the things of life. So it's a call. It's not only a call of protection, but a call for children that want to regain, to repent from their own ways, to turn to know who the Creator is and what He has for them in life. So that's one thing I wanted to get it out the way. Now we're going to get into this credit stuff. Any questions, comments, or remarks, you can call in at 804-856-1988 on this Let It Shine Sunday, which is the first day of the week on Hot Mix VA Radio. Now, on this credit thing that we're going to get into, I hear you, Father. I hear you. I hear you clearly. We're going to get into this credit stuff. I'm going to leave that alone. Oh, thank you, Father. I hear you, Father. We're going to get into this credit stuff. I'm going to be good. He said that we are manifestors. But the key principle is, if you think lowly of yourself, what I've called and created you for, you can't manifest. But when you think on the good things that He have called for you, he has created for you, then you can be more than a conqueror. Don't allow the cares of this world to snare you or to snatch you. Live in the abundance and the authority that he has placed in your bosom, where the living waters of his spirit come forth. Out of the heart flows what? The issues of life. If our heart is dedicated to him, as the first commandment says, then we can what? He maintaineth our lot. He maintaineth our cup. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. Things going to come. I'm telling you, challenges come, circumstances come. But when those challenges and those circumstances come, you got to be steadfast. You got to be fully persuaded and knowing that your Father in the Shamins, which means the heavens, is there for you. But the key thing is, he want to know, is you there for him? To receive something, you got to give something. Give your life, give your heart each day to the Father and watch what he do for you. I challenge you that in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach. It is so and so it be. Now let's get into this credit stuff. I hear you, Father. I hear you, Father. I hear you clearly. I'm trying to be good. Oh, thank you, Father. Okay. Let's get into this credit stuff. A lot of times I like to speak about, like the violations of the Third Parties Act of 1999, adequate assurance of due performance, which is underneath the Uniform Commercial Code, Section 2-609. And usually I talk a lot about, UCC 3-501, which means refuse for cause without dishonor. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to speak about the birth certificate and what does that mean to you, okay, and to all individuals, okay? Okay, now, you still have the legal right to refuse anything that comes to you in the mail. What that is a bill or presentment that usually come every 30 days in the mail. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. By the 180th day, if you have not paid anything, they're going to send a warrant of that to you by a sheriff or officer. Okay. Now, the key thing of anything and all things of life is making someone provided proof of contract or proof of claim. Okay. Now, third parties, when they come to you with a phone call or a bill or a presentment in the mail, first and foremost, just like we spoke about the last time that we was on here, underneath of Regulation Z, underneath the United States Code, anytime someone sends you a bill or a statement without their signature, you have the legal right to what? To return to the sender. Because guess what? You don't know who it is. They did not sign anything with an oath or a disposition of an affidavit stating the matter in civil as well as commercial liability towards you, signed underneath a penalty of perjury. So you can return it. You can return to the sender and say, without dishonor, refuse for cause. Why? Because they have failed to state a reason where they can receive a relief. They have failed to state that. So you can send it back. You can make them provide a proof of claim, which means they can provide it in 10 days if you're just asking for certain information. But if you're asking for the full accounting, underneath of that 21 days is what you consider where you can ask for a certified statement of account. And that particular code is underneath the Uniform Commercial Code, Section 9-210, which means a certified statement of account. What that is giving an indication is that they are certifying three different things: that they are the holder in due course of the original note, that they have a contract with you, and that they are showing all of the different things underneath of Basel III and the FDIC regulations. Okay, so that's underneath of refuse for cause, underneath of UCC 3-501. Now, another thing is, if you have signed something with a original creditor, okay, and you know, and you look at your particular contract, or your, not really a contract, but your agreement or that particular account is only your signature on there. So what you can also do legally is two things that you can do and you can look these things up, is what you consider a novation of agreement. If you're in a place of financial hardship and you want that particular agreement to be switched or to be changed, you can draft up a document or affidavit. Is considered a novation of agreement. That means that you write up an affidavit stating the different things that is pleasant to you, that is affordable to you, and you place $100 money order in that. If they sign that money order and they receive that document, then the terms of that agreement has changed. Now, another thing that you can do is consider a notice of rescission. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Notice of rescission, okay? And what that is, that's underneath of Regulation Z 12 CFR subsection 1026 and 15 United States Code 1635. That gives the right of rescission. And what that is giving an indication is anytime you have signed your signature and you have found out that is a violation of GAAP, which means generally accepted principles and generally accepted accounting standards, which is a violation underneath the UCC 2-609, that they not provide proof of that particular claim, you can rescind your signature, okay? So say for instance, this is something I just drafted up quickly. Underneath of 12, Regulation Z 12 CFR subsection 1026 and 15 USC Code 1635 is considered the right of rescission. You can say, I rescind my entire consumer transaction. In addition, criminal fraud, identity fraud, and conversion of my property have no statute of limitations, and I will defend against and seek remedy for deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunity secured by the FDCPA against all guilty parties. I choose not to do business with you and your partners. What that means is a third party, or even if it's original creditor who have not provided proof of that particular claim, and they keep on sending you notices or something like that they're going to take you to court, or they're going to garnish your wages or something, especially when they have not provided proof of contract or proof of GAAP, then they're trying to induce you, or they're trying to corrode you to pay something without showing proof of claim. Okay, so underneath of that rescission, you can say, I revoke and cancel all power of attorney in presumption or otherwise signed either by me or anyone else claiming to act on my behalf or without my consent. The other thing you can say, but not limited to any and all culpable public government entities or corporations on the grounds of constructive fraud, concealment, and non-disclosure of pertinent facts. So what it is, you have what you consider unalienable rights and specific common law rights that you can exercise. I'm going kind of fast in this. Now, a little meat. Once again, if you have a question or concern or remark or anything that you would like to know or anything you would like to share, you can call in at 804-856-1988 on this Hot Mix VA Radio Let It Shine Sunday. Now, when we was created and when you was born at the hospital, it's two major things that the hospital give. They give you what? A birth certificate, and that birth certificate is a title of ownership. Which has created a beneficial interest within everything you shall own. So sole means once, hence sole proprietor. They prop the sole of your foot, and as soon as the social security number is established, your taxpayer identification number, this is your private banking number set up for the Social Security Administration, which is another trust. The benefits are tied to you are being utilized as a trust certificate units from the Federal Reserve, which is under the In God We Trust. Yes, that is on the name of that trust, which is on that dollar bill. The trust is you, the individual. So I'm going to give a little different things. You have to, when you have of any state or county that you are in, or the state that you was born with a birth certificate, that state has trust over you because they have the title over you in your all capital name. Anytime your name is in all capital name, that is not you. That is what you considered a straw man name, straw woman name, which is an entity or fictitious or a corporation, which is not you. Okay? So that's some of the things. But so once again, when you get something in the mail, I got different stamps. This is not legal advice. This is for you to look up, for you to see for your own self. When you get a presentment in the mail, and when you have gained ownership back of yourself in the natural aspect of the land that we walk on, where the state is not, you're not the state's property, and you have a trust of yourself and that trust of the state, where you file some paperwork where you become your own trust and your own quote-unquote sole proprietor, you're establishing your number, which is on the back of your social security number, which is your exemption number, which is your trust number. So once you have that trust, and there's certain different IRS forms that you can file to set yourself free from debt. I'm just giving out information. I'm giving no legal advice. Look these things up. 2848. That's one of the IRS forms or publications. The 1099A, the 1099B, and then later on you do the 1099C. You do the T56. Then you got the 1040V. You get the 1099 OID. These are different legal forms of the government if you know the proper way, the proper steps to set yourself free from natural debt. So say, for instance, a bill collector sends you a particular presentment or a bill. You can have a stamp, or you can write on there in red or blue ink, acceptance for value in return for value for settlement and closure. Then you put the date, the exemption number, which is on the back of your social security number, and your signature, and a red thumbprint. And you send it to the chief financial officer of that particular company, who handles the offset of different accounts. These are some of the different things. I would like to go deeper, but that's for a later time. But back to the spiritual things. Know that you are preserved for a purpose of power, a purpose of peace, in the plans that he has predestined for you. Until next time on Let It Shine Sunday on Hot Mix VA Radio, your friend, the prophet, the messenger, Andrew J. Jones of Living Harvest Assemblies. Shalom, my brothers and sisters.